Hey everyone, I'm going to be going over all my Power Rangers books on these two shelves here. Let's see, I also have Sentai stuff, but I'm mainly going to be focused on Power Rangers stuff for now. So let's go. Let's see, let's start up here with all the bigger books. Let's see, hiding back here is the Power Rangers Ultimate Visual History book. This is a really cool book. It's definitely got flaws, but it covers like the entire series up until Beast Morphers, so if you're like a big Power Ranger fan of like the whole franchise, this is definitely something you wanna try and find. And then right here, if I can get it out of the way there. Let's see, the Power Rangers Jungle Fury Top Secret Files. This is a weird kind of, just a very strange book that's hard to describe. It's got a whole bunch of like little activities. There's like little fold-out pop-ups and these little things where you pull a tab and it changes images around. It's yeah, a lot of stuff with that. Let's see what else. Oh, right here is a Kyujo vs. Go Busters movie program, and right here is a gigantic variety magazine that has an article about Power Rangers in it. Or, well, Saban Entertainment mainly, but it talks about Power Rangers, and up there is the Zeo Rangers, Samurai Pizza Cats, Eagle Force, which was Saban's Gotchaman dub, Masked Rider, I think those girls sitting on the big #1 are, Sweet Valley High twins, or girls, or something, I don't know. And this little guy up here is, I think, from a cartoon called the YY Family, and the Beetleborgs, Oliver Twist, X-Men, very off Goku there, and I don't know who these guys are. And then right here is the giant Power Rangers live show book. And then I have a second one in a bag. Right here is the Power Rangers Super Samurai head-to-head book. This is really cool. It's got a whole bunch of really nice images of the Samurai Rangers and a bunch of the monsters. And then, oh, here's a Sentai book that covers a bunch of Sentai series up to 5-man. Right here's a Dino Charge Search and Find book that's very rare for some reason. Here's a gigantic Power Rangers Ninja Storm storybook. I don't know why it's so big. I think this came in like a special carrying case that had bigger versions of some of the old Power Ranger storybooks. Right here is the Operation Overdrive Magnet book. And then here's the weird Italian SPD Super Magneti book, also with magnets. I don't know if there's a Mystic Force one, and I think what might have happened is possibly, let's see, take a look at the year on the back here, 2006, and Overdrive was 2007, okay. So what I think happened is, possibly, Italy was on SPD at the time, and they made this book, and then like some American distributor or company saw that, and they were like, oh hey, we should do something like that for Power Rangers, and Overdrive was the series that we were going on over here at the time, so they just did Overdrive and didn't bother to translate the SPD one, because I've never seen the SPD one in English, or any other language. So I don't know for sure, maybe there's a Mystic Force one out there somewhere, but I've never been able to find it. Now right here is a Sentai book, but it does have some interest because it's a Western Sentai thing. This is a French book all about Bibleman, or Bioman. I got confused. La Bible Officielle, or however that's pronounced. And then there's also Mask Man and Live Man. In France, Bioman was such a huge hit that they brought over Mask Man and Live Man and called them Bioman 2 and Bioman 3 for some reason. Oh, my little guys just fell over there. Okay, and then right here is a Q Ranger book. And right here is the Power Rangers Artist Tribute book, which I did a video about a while ago. This is a really cool book. I really like the idea of a Power Rangers art, like, tribute book. Although most of this is just a collection of comic book covers, which is fine. The comic had some really cool covers, but I would kind of like if in the future, if they did something like this again, it's an actual artist tribute book, or they just are upfront about it and they just call it, like, comic book art collection or something. Actually, they could do an art of the Power Rangers comic. That would be amazing, because the comic has some consistently wonderful artwork. And then right here we have the first of the Tokuma Shoten books. I did a video about these too. These were like really big books. Yeah, very big. Let's see, they had a lot of really nice images. They're very short though for some reason. And then there's the second one, Zords versus the Monster Squad. And then the third one, Arrival of a New Hero. And then there's this book, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, which I think is a UK exclusive book. Yep, down there we got the little pound symbol by the price. And then this is another weird thing. Operation Overdrive CD storybook. There's a little CD that you put into a CD player and you read along with the book. Oh, and it's also one of the few Power Ranger books with the Disney logo right on the spine. That's really rare. Let's see, and then right here we got the Power Rangers Food Fight sound book. Let's see, there's all these little thingies along the edge here, the side that you press, and it's supposed to make noises. There's a little battery compartment there. It doesn't have batteries right now. I don't think they all work. I think some of the sounds work. When I bought this, I did test it out. But yeah, it doesn't have the batteries in there anymore, so... Oh, something just fell there. Okay, anyway, moving on. Let's see. Okay, Shinkenger versus Gosager, a whole bunch of Sentai Mook books, some more Sentai books. Oh, and this is something I want to talk about. Let's see, this, like the Bioman, the French Bioman book, it is a Sentai thing, but it does have a special interest to Western Power Rangers and Sentai fans. This is an American Super Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger book. It's a board book, storybook. I think it's like just a straight translation of an actual Go Ranger storybook from Japan. They kept all the artwork and images the same. All the text is like just straight translated. This was put out in Hawaii because Hawaii got a lot of tokusatsu shows from Japan, and they did pretty well. Up there's a little thingy, TV Hero series. So there were at least 4 other books in this series, including this Go Ranger book and also a Robocon book. That's pretty strange. I've seen images of, there were like some books like this for anime, but I haven't seen any for live action shows like that. And here's a bunch more Sentai books. And then move these little guys over there. And then, oh, I want to talk about this thing up here. Let's see, this is a Korean Gao Ranger sticker book. Although it has a little Power Rangers logo up there, because in Korea, what they'll do with Sentai is they'll retitle it Power Rangers and then give the Sentai series a different name. So Gao Ranger was called Jungle Force. So, there's some cool images in here. Some of the stickers are actually missing. Whoops. Yeah, so there's that. And then up here is, let's see, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers UK Annual. There's the first one. Move back here. There's the second one. The third one. And then they moved on to Zeo. And then to Turbo. And then they stopped doing annuals for a while. But there were 2 Fox Kids annuals that had some Power Ranger stuff. So there's that one that covers In Space and Lost Galaxy. Then there's this one, which has some Time Force and Wild Force stuff, and also Mystic Knights. And then all the Disney seasons got put out as annuals. There's Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder. And this is a weird thing. Here's an Italian version of the Dino Thunder's annual. I don't know if Italy had any other annuals translated. I think they had SPD, but I don't know for sure. Speaking of which, there's SPD. And then there's Mystic Force. And then Overdrive. And then here's a weird one. Super Legends Summer Annual. Yeah, in addition to Overdrive, there was also a Super Legends Annual. Jungle Fury. RPM. And then Samurai. And Mega Force. Which doesn't want to get back in there. And then they stopped for a few years, but then they did a Beast Morpher one last year. So I'm hoping maybe they'll continue that and do a Dino Fury one this year sometime, or next year maybe. So down here are the smaller books. So right here is a pop-up book, Chosen for Greatness. And then there's this weird thing, Brands We Know, Power Rangers. This is like a school library book, like an elementary school. It's a very thin book. Very simple, straightforward, just explaining like the behind the scenes, the business side of Power Rangers. And then this is a Spanish book, A Metamorphose Arce, which is a guide to Power Rangers, but not just Power Rangers, but like tokusatsu as a whole. There's stuff in here about Sentai and Kamen Rider and Ultraman and just a lot of stuff. This is a very thick book. Unfortunately, it's all in Spanish. There's never been an English edition. What this is basically the Ultimate Visual History book there, except in Spanish, and also it's a bit more in-depth. Like, in general, more in-depth. And for Power Rangers itself, this is more the way to go, I guess. So anyway, then there's this Megaforce flip book. Megaforce story, then you flip it over, Megaforce activities. Yeah, very weird. And then here's the hardcover Treasury storybook with a couple of different Power Rangers storybooks collected. Then right here is the Samurai storybook collection, which collects some samurai stories, although the weird thing is, there were samurai storybooks, and what's collected in here is, is available as individual storybooks. They're actually different in here. Like, there's way more text, some of the terminology is switched around, some of it's like way more wordy. I don't know why there's so many changes, because the Treasury storybook, there are minor things that they fix here and there. Like, I did a video about the Mystic Force storybook, and there's a part where their Zords show up, and all their Zords have names except Chip's Zord. But in the Treasury storybook, the name is back, so, yeah. They're no stranger to editing things, but I don't know why they're just completely different. Like, even the images and the layout is completely different. And then there's another hardcover storybook collection, this time collecting all of Samurai and Megaforce. I think it's everything that's in this one plus Megaforce, but I don't remember for sure. And then right here is Power Rangers Zeo, A New Beginning photo storybook. Yeah, just using images from the show. And then here's the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers scrapbook, which is kind of a loose explanation of what Mighty Morphin is with some promo images, and there's a second copy I have for some reason. Then here's the Season 2 version, all new, including never before seen photos of the White Ranger. So yeah, hyping up the White Ranger really big. Yeah, get that back in there. Right, here's the movie scrapbook, which is a behind-the-scenes book. And then this is a weird thing I want to talk a little bit about. This is a personalized book. Jeffrey Joseph Roberts becomes an honorary Power Ranger. This book is from, Mommy and Daddy, 1999. Wow. 1995, 1999. So they were selling this for quite a while, long after Mighty Morphin was no longer the relevant series. So what this is part of like a program where you could send in someone's name and some information about them, like their interests or whatever, and they would write them into a little, personalized book. I used to see these a lot more often, not so much anymore. Yeah, get that back in there. Okay. And then right here is the Power Rangers SPD sound book, or I don't know what to call this thing. Does this have a title? Okay, I guess it doesn't even really have a title. Yeah, it just says Power Rangers SPD. Anyway, the whole point here... Oh, it still works. Yeah, so it's just a very simple storybook with dumb little noises. Oh, and also there's no Yellow Ranger in this book, which is very, very strange. And then here's this Megaforce book, Robo Knight, with a holographic cover, which is kind of cool, I guess. Then okay. Right here's the Dino Charge official handbook, which has these weird little notebook rings, but then the cover, folds over it. Very weird. Oh, and also the design of this is a bit reminiscent of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers official guidebook, which is a board book, and it also has those notebook rings, though these ones are more like actual notebook rings. And then this is a really cool thing. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Alien Encounters in Angel Grove. This is a really cool little fake documentation thing. There's coverage of all the different, or most of the different, like, bad guys in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, though it's written out as if it were real. It's all, like, just a joke. And then here's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Morphin Power, another pop-up book, though this one's kind of falling apart. And then this is Day of the Dumpster. This was a book that originally came with, 3D Ranger Vision. So there's like 3D glasses and also a cassette that you read along with. The cassette. And here's another like cassette read-along storybook, Lord Zed's Holiday Humbug. And then here's a movie storybook, which kind of covers the whole movie. But then there was a second book, Adventure on Phaedos, which covers more in depth the second part of the movie. Then here's one of the Zeo storybooks, A Zeo Beginning. Now, this particular series of Zeo storybooks had some really amazing artwork. And here's the second one, Battle Against the Sun. Invasion of Mean Screen. This one is a particularly rare copy, so I had to settle for getting one that was kind of beat up. And then Triumph of the Gold Ranger. And then we get these Dalmatian Press storybooks. There were a lot of these. Here's the Time Force one, which is a very strange book that is very little like Time Force. It takes its like story from like bizarre early concept ideas and artwork, I think. It's very strange. Wild Force, Red Lion Roar. Wild Force, Never Give Up. Then here's the little normal version of that Ninja Storm storybook that I have that big one of up there. Team Power. Thunderstorm Watch. And then I don't have the SPD ones, but they are in the Treasury storybook. At some point, maybe I'll find them and see if there's anything actually different than what's in the Treasury storybook. But anyway, Mystic Force, Magic Masters, and then Overdrive, Operation Teamwork. Operation Overdrive, All Fired Up. And then we get a Jungle Fury one, Mantor Menace. And then there's a weird little Made in the USA thing at the bottom. I don't know what that was all about. It's not on any of the other ones, so I guess, I don't know, they were feeling particularly patriotic that day. Jungle Fury, Fangs and Fury. Jungle Fury, Force of the Elephant, and Enter the Wolf. There's a lot of Jungle Fury ones, so I'm thinking these must have been coming out, like, right when Jungle Fury was starting or something. And Samurai, Friend or Enemy. Samurai the New Ranger. Alien Attack for Megaforce. And then Robo Knight, which, interesting story with this one. When this book was initially announced, they didn't say it was a storybook, like a kid's storybook adapted straight from the episode where he's introduced. The description for it said something like, learn the secrets of the mysterious Robo Knight. So I thought it was going to be like a more in-depth, like, I thought it was going to be like an original book or a graphic novel or something. I didn't think it was just going to be a little storybook. Yeah. And then Ninja Steel, Ninja Nexus Power, Forged in Ninja Steel, Ninja Steel Magic, and then Elements of Being a Ranger. Yeah, get back in there. And then last up for these kind of storybooks, here's a VR Troopers storybook, The Battle Begins, which I think also, VR vision, so it came with 3D glasses and a cassette to read along with. And then back here is Mighty Morphin Meower Rangers. Yeah, the Meower Rangers got a little gift book. I don't know why. And then right here is Mystic Force Fireheart. Now, this is like a storybook and also sticker book, which was available through schools, I think. And then here is Mystic Force Codebusters, and then Mystic Force Rangers in Danger. And then an Overdrive one, Super Lizard. This is a very strange one. It's the same kind of format as the Mystic Force books. It's a storybook. It uses images from the show. It's got stickers in the back. And I've never seen this anywhere, so I'm thinking this must have been only available through schools. I don't know if possibly there's more, like if there's other Overdrive ones, or maybe other Mystic Force ones, maybe there's Jungle Fury ones, I don't know for sure. But it'd be really fascinating to find some more of these. And then right here is a Dorling Kinserly Power Rangers book, Great Adventures. And don't be fooled by the Dorling Kinserly logo, this is not a very good book. It's got weird mistakes, errors, bad stock art. It's not a very good book. Jungle Fury, though, is a little more what you would expect from Dorling Kinserly, but it's a level 1 book, so it's very basic and standard, doesn't go too in-depth with anything, which is unfortunate, because the picture quality is really good in this, aside from, there is, like, some blurriness with one of the Zord images. And then we got Samurai Rangers Unite, Meet the Rangers, Armed for Battle, and then this is a really cool thing, the Super Samurai Official Guide. This is filled with a bunch of really cool, like, very high-definition, high-resolution images of the Rangers, the Zords, the weapons, the villains, just a whole bunch of really, really cool stuff in there. And then a Megaforce 1 Mega Mission. And then there's this weird thing, The Power Lives On, 20 Years of Power Rangers. This is, let's see, this was put out for the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers, or leading up to that. It covers most of the series, some behind-the-scenes stuff. It's okay. Like, it does delve into some controversies that aren't covered in the Ultimate Visual History book, which oddly tried to, like, overlook stuff like that. This one gives a bit more into it, but it's still not very good. It kind of reads like a, like Wikipedia articles. So put that back in there. And then here we got Power Rangers Trivia. Oh, what's happening with my focus? Okay. Discover funny things about Power Rangers. There's different covers to this book because it's like a, yeah, like a self-printed thing, I think. Anyway, it just plagiarizes the Trivial Pursuit game. And then right here is a bunch of these little chapter books from the 90s for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. A lot of older fans will probably remember these, because these used to be freaking everywhere. I remember going into Walmart and seeing these. So there's the first one, It's Morphin Time, Megazord to the Rescue, The Terror Toad, Rita's Revenge, Putty Attack, The Bumble Beast, The Bad Dream Machine, and the Super Zords, and then they switched to Season 2, and also lost the color on the spines. Tiger Zord Power, Lord Zed Strikes Back, Bloom of Doom, and Alpha the Hero. And then they stopped doing these for a while, but then they picked back up again with Lost Galaxy of all seasons. Okay, so the Battle Beyond, the Lost Galactabeasts, which I have 2 copies of, Strange New World, and The Mystery of the Magna Defender. And then that was it for chapter books again, but there is one for Dino Charge, the junior novel. This is from the UK, and it's a novelization of the first episode of Dino Charge. It's really long, too. It goes really in-depth. And then there's these weird Mighty Morphin chapter books. I'll pop these right out of here so we can get a closer look at these individually. There we got the first one, the Venomous, yeah, at least I assume this is the first one. It's the first one that came out, I think. Venomous Eclipse, Tournament of Terror, All Fear the Pharaoh, Fish in Troubled Water, Mayhem from Moon Palace, and Mind Over Magic. These are pretty decent chapter books, although it is kind of weird. These were put out around the same time as the Boom comics were starting. In fact, the artwork on the covers, I think, might have had some of those artists that had worked on the Boom comics. One of the weird things with these, for the most part, these are pretty much just bland Mighty Morphin stories. There's not really that much too radical going on. There's nothing too amazing going on. But there is a weird thing with some of these. They'll reference things that could only possibly exist in the Boom Comics continuity. Or possibly these were written for the Paper Cuts comics. That's what I'm thinking with most of these, since the writers for some of these are the same writers that were on the Paper Cuts comics. So I'm thinking these were going to be future graphic novels, but then when Paper Cuts lost the license, they kept the scripts around and decided to print them as books. Maybe. I don't know for sure, but it's an interesting thing to think about. So then right here is the truth about Power Rangers. This is a bizarre religious propaganda book that complains about how Power Rangers, VR Troopers, and Sailor Moon are going to warp your kid's mind because they're Japanese and racism. Though this guy, Phil Phillips, I think he's gotten better in recent years. Like, he supported charities in Africa or something, so good for him if he's changed. Anyway, the official movie novel for 2017's Power Rangers movie. It's alright. It makes some weird alterations to censor some of the more, like, offensive bits, I guess, like the cow thing at the beginning. That's not in the novel. Kimberly's whole plot about what's going on with her and her ex-friends is not really gone into detail. And then right here is a bunch of TV guides that Power Rangers made the cover of. Not necessarily it was about Power Rangers, but they were on the cover. And then here's the silly Super Legends game guide, which has nothing to do with, it does have something to do with the Super Legends game. If you were to play the game with this, you would kind of understand what the gist was, but that's not the point of a game guide. The only way to understand anything in the game guide is to be playing the game, which is not the point of a game guide. The game guide should help you play the game. This would actively hinder you, especially if you're not playing on a PC, which I think is the version they used for this. And also, I'm pretty sure it was written by AI or a a person who was not very good at grammar. Every single page has a typo. That's impressive. And then here's a bunch of little Mighty Morphin board books. Let's see. Oh, and these have titles. Heap of Trouble, Space Aliens Attack, Defenders of the Universe, and Rita Repulso's Revenge, which I have 2 copies of because there's a weird thing with these. They're different sizes. The first one is a little thinner than the second one. I don't know what that's all about. Then here's one of these weird little cardboard transforming books. So you pull the little tab up, and then you can fold out pieces to make a little Mastodon Megazord, or Zord. Oh, I'm a flip-up playbook. Okay, thanks. Oh, and then right here is some Disney Adventures magazines that Power Rangers made the cover of. Nothing too amazing there. And then right here is some VR Trooper books. Virtual Reality Magician, Captive in the Virtual World, Virtual Reality Spy, and Friend vs. Friend in the Virtual World with a Toys R Us sticker. That's cool. And then here's a weird thing. This is a German Masked Rider book. Erde in Gefahr, which I think means Earth in Danger. Now, the weird thing with this is, look at that. And look how thick this is. How many pages is this? Over 100 pages. 169 pages. Oh, wait, no, it's longer. 171, 173. Okay, so 175 pages, and it is really small print. And it only adapts, like, the premiere episodes of Masked Rider. There is a cool thing here. Let's see, there's color photos in the middle that are really, really nice quality. It's so bizarre seeing Masked Rider images in such high quality, since the show itself has never been released in, like, any kind of quality. And then right here are some smaller chapter books, kind of similar to those Mighty Morphin chapter books. They have big text, they're very short. So here's Showdown at Leawood High, Super Gold, and there's a third one that I'm missing, Water, Water Everywhere. Oh, and also, I guess, Escape from Edenoi. So I gotta track those down. And then here's some Mystic Knights books, which at first you'd think they're like chapter books, but actually they're choose-your-own-adventure books. They're not very in-depth like the usual kind of choose-your-own-adventure books. They're, like, really basic. It makes me wonder why they bothered being choose-your-own-adventure at all, but whatever. Then here's the book and rubber stamp kit. So you got a little book that you can customize with the little included stamps. So, there's a Goldar with some stamp putties causing havoc with the stamp putties. There's the Rangers. And, oh, Silver Alpha, that's weird. Whole bunch of putties and Rangers and stuff. Got some Zords running out of ink there, apparently. Oh, and this is funny. Tripping over the Zords. So that was a cool thing. And I think, yep, that's it for the Power Ranger books on these two shelves. I'm sure I've got some other Power Ranger books lying around here, there, wherever. I've also got the comics and graphic novels and stuff. They're in another box somewhere else. Oh, and I've got more Sentai and, like, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, tokusatsu books. I'll go over them sometime. So, yeah, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.